GLIM interviews are known to be different, more controversial, less scary. But is that really true? Let's find out. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking to Avantika, who appeared for the Great Lakes Institute of Management PI, straight experience, no filters. Hi Avantika, thank you for joining the
Hi,
session.
Abhilasha.
So, can you give us a quick intro or background and why GLIM?
Hi guys, I'm Avantika. I have completed my engineering from SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai, and I have a 3 years of work ex from Infosys. And right now, I'm like running my own business, a cloud kitchen. And I felt there was some gap in my business, and that's why I wanted to study the business part of it. And I gave my NMATs exam, and my scores were good, so I applied for GLIM. That is one of the calls that I have.
That's really nice. So, what was your first reaction when you got the GLIM interview call?
So, like, I was sure I would get the call because my scores were good. But then I was a little nervous because this was my first interview that I had to go and give as a part of
So, how did
MBA.
you So how
Yeah.
did you prepare for GLIM specifically? Like, is there any difference from GLIM to other B schools, or is it similar to that?
Basically, GLIM has two different programs. One is PGDM and another one is PGPM. And since I have 3 years of work ex, I am only eligible for the PGPM program, which is for 1 year. And I think it will be divided into seven parts as a part of the whole process. And I have to do the whole thing in 1 year. And it is a little bit different because it is an experiential program rather than a normal program, I guess.
That's really nice. So how was the panel? Are they very chill, friendly, or are they very formal?
So initially, I was being very formal because I was asked to be like I was asked to be a little courteous. So I entered, I introduced myself, and then I said I greeted them, and then they started with what like to like introduce myself, and then further with my TMA part.
So since you mentioned you have WorkX as well, so what kind of questions did they really ask, like profile-based WorkX or HR related?
So basically, since my TMA was inclined towards my cloud kitchen, they started with my cloud kitchen questions. And further, they went ahead and asked me a guesstimate around it. And then I was asked about the budget, like the daily happenings and why today is a special. Like my interview was yesterday, and yesterday the budget was supposed to be like
Yeah.
discussed the first day, and that's why they asked why is it a special day, and then we further went ahead and discussed the budget. And then the question which I was asked on budget was, what are my expectations from the budget? And my answer to it was basically like I would like them to reiterate the sorry. Right. So basically, I want the government to reiterate the taxes on the salaries, and then they came up with a follow-up question that how would the government like react to it, and how the government is going to curb the whole thing, like the budget of their. Yeah.
Fine, that's nice, only. So it's more towards the current affairs and your opinion about them.
Yeah, like they want us to have an opinion, and then if we have an opinion, they it is mostly about why do we have this opinion, and then like what will be the consequences of it mostly.
So, was there any question that made you pause or rethink your answer?
So basically, I had like studied most of the things, but I was stuck in one of the questions, which is what is a fiscal deficit? Because since we were discussing the budget, this was
Yeah.
supposed like this is one of the questions which are supposed to come up, and I was stuck in the question, what is fiscal deficit? But then they were the ones who were like trying to help me out how to go about it, and like what exactly like they were trying to make me understand what a fiscal deficit is. So it was majorly a chill interview and not very like a pressure. Like they were not trying to push me on my pressure points, is what I would say.
So, as per your experience, so what are GLIM panelists actually testing? Is it their knowledge or the clarity of thought that you have?
They are basically trying to test if whatever we have done previously is like will matter in like in the further process, and would it be like according to the college, the college is basically on the experiential side. So will it be helpful for us to develop our whatever we have in us, our
So
qualities, and
anyone,
to make us shine better?
it's really
Yeah.
nice. So any one word to describe GLIM PI?
Sorry.
Any one word to describe GLIM PI?
So it was basically a chill interview, and I think the panelists were a little cool. They also went ahead and asked me what are my like interests are and what my hobbies are. So even we went ahead and like discussed that as well. And then we went ahead and discussed why I want to do an MBA and which is the specialty that I would like to do an MBA.
So any one
So it
common
was
mistake
more
that
like a discussion, not like a PI.
that's nice. So I was asking about like, is there any common mistake that aspirants make in GLIM PI? Like prior when you were preparing, you thought that this might come up, but suddenly you get to know, okay, the reality is a bit different.
So basically, I was like a little bit anxious before giving the interview because like I was the third member to go in and give the interview. Like I had just come, like I had just sit there and I was waiting for my chance, and I was like, there were only two people who had come before me and they were called, and I was the third person, so I was a little nervous, and I actually fumbled a little bit on my tell me about yourself. But then, even then, they asked me to have a little bit of water and they were like a little bit cool, chill. It's okay, it's fine. And I think that is how it is. Like, it is not something you should be scared of. It is not a scary thing. It is basically a discussion on your life, not something else, is
So
what I
any
feel.
one advice you wanted to give to people who are going to give their PI in coming week?
So, I would like them to prepare on guesstimates. That is one thing I've heard like a lot of people being asked. So, guesstimate is one thing I would classes on guesstimates, how it is done and everything. So that is where I would like people to work on because I am sure they are going to ask guesstimates from everyone because I've read a little bit of transcripts from previous interviews as well, and they had asked guesstimates. I heard from other people as well that they were asked guesstimates. So one thing that is I would like people to go through guesstimates because they will definitely ask you guesstimates. And other thing is don't be scared. It is not a scary interview. It is a very chill and it is a discussion, nothing more.
It's really nice. Thank you so much, Avantika, for keeping it honest, and all the best to everyone who are going to prepare and who are for their coming interview in next week. So thank you so much. Thank you for so much for joining this session.
Thank you, Abhilasha.